right, today we're in the Tahoe National Forest to talk about the Sierra Incense Cedar. Grows in very diverse areas. You see some manzanita there, some ponderosa pines, some sugar pines, a lot of different trees. But this particular area is kind of interesting because you'll see a lot of young ones, along with a lot of young ponderosa pines. It's one of the things, these trees are good at moving in on opened up areas after fires. But in a climax forest, they tend to get smothered out because they like sun. So you'll rarely see them be the dominant tree, but they're always in diverse forests for the most part. So you'll see the ponderosa's moved into this clearing too from an old fire scar, along with the incense cedars. So here's a younger tree. You'll see it has a nice shape. Might be tempting to put it in your yard, but they'll get bigger, like that one behind me up there. So the leaves on these things, they come in these flat sprays, scale-like leaves, and if you crush them in your hand, that's where they get the name from. They smell like incense apparently, but I don't quite get it. There is a smell to them. So let's go from young to old. Let's go check out this bigger guy back here. All right, you can see when they're big, these trees are quite striking. And this particular tree has survived a fire. You'll see some black down there. And yeah, like I said, they get along with everybody. I forgot to mention there's black oak growing around here too. It's just kind of amazing how many different species and how diverse this is where I'm at. I'm about 6,000 feet near the Desolation Wilderness. And this bark is just gorgeous. It's kind of flaky, sort of fibrous, but look at that guy. It's beautiful. Now these trees, they can live a long time if conditions are right. They can live up to 500 years. They tend to grow, they're very conical usually. Funny, in the southern Sierra, they're more conical. They tend to spread out a little bit here in the northern Sierra. So these trees can survive ground fires. Crown fires will usually take them out. So you can see from the bottom of this tree, it has survived a lower temperature fire. Right now, the Sierra is on fire. So you'll see the hillside behind me. It's kind of cloudy because we have fires everywhere. So fire resistance in trees is a good survival technique. And that's one thing these trees do really well. They'll move into burned areas and send out a lot of seedlings and kind of fill it up. And then eventually the rest of the forest catches up and kills them off. But as you can see, when they're young, they're quite beautiful. And it's one of the few Sierra trees that is grown in nurseries and sold commercially. Their foliage is thick. They work great for windscreens and sunscreens, but you got to remember they get really big eventually. So they need to be away from structures on a big property, not next to a house. So one thing I want to recommend, I see redwoods everywhere in California and other places, and they use too much water. These guys, the incense cedars, are super drought tolerant. That's why they do so good here in the foothills of the Sierra. They can grow anywhere from 200 feet up to 8,000 feet. I think I'm about 6,500 feet right now. And I'll show you some trees, random trees on the side of the highway where I live near Folsom. I don't know why they planted them, but they've been there for a long time. And they do well down there too, all by themselves. So resist the urge to plant these on your property unless you give them a lot of space. But for a replacement for a redwood, cedars are great, or deodar cedars are great. Incense cedars are great. Both pretty drought tolerant. The most common way these things die in commercial applications is too much water and root rot. So they don't require a lot of water. So get those redwoods out of here and try an incense cedar. So yeah, they can live a long time. They tend not to, but some can live up to 400 or 500 years. It's pretty rare, but they grow anywhere up to about 180 feet if conditions are really good. But the typical height is about 100 feet. So this guy here, I don't know, it's probably a 150-foot tree. Pretty cool tree. All right, so the commercial uses of these trees, they used to be logged a little more widely. They don't grow in a lot of places, so I'm lucky to live in their territory. They grow in California, Central California, the Sierras, extreme north of Mexico, extreme west of Nevada, and up into Central Oregon. That's the only place they grow. But like I said, they're grown commercially and people use them all over the world. They were logged pretty extensively before. Their wood is very decay resistant, so they're popular for things like fence posts, picnic tables, things like that. But their grain is really pretty too. You can make tabletops and things like that out of them. So their number one use now is they're used for making pencils. The old number 2 pencil is incense cedar. So after you sharpen it, take a whiff of that. That's why they smell so good. It's incense cedar. They don't splinter like a lot of woods. So that's probably their number one use right now. So when you're in a diverse forest, check them out and look for them. And if you want a smaller version of these trees at a nursery that look a lot like them, they have the same leaves. I have a couple in my backyard. I'll post a couple pictures here. Are the Arbor Vitae. They're in the same family, but they're bush form. They're not the same they're not trees, but it's just another interesting tree of the Sierra. So thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. Happy trails.